After 1930s, however, there was a singular problem posed by the communal division. I think the time has come when even that particular period, roughly from 1930s to 1947-48, should be freely discussed within the communist movement. Our difficulty, of course, was that the Congress and Muslim League were pulling in different directions. The Congress for immediate freedom, which communists shared naturally, and Muslim League for communal division, which fitted ill with communist ideology. How can communists be divided according to whether they were Hindus and Muslims? But there, our leaders took a decision which had consequences. And frankly, I think that we are now at a reasonable distance from 1930s and 40s. It is the time to take a position on that particular problem. Those of you, and I think there would be many, who have read R.P. Dutt's India Today. And there's a whole chapter on India in India Today, because this was written in 1945 or so, in which R.P. Dutt, the major communist spokesman of the time, both in England and India, laid out a case why India should not be divided on communal lines. It's one of the most effective chapters of his book on India. Either our readers did not read R.P. Dutt carefully enough, or there were other reasons why the Communist Party at that time decided to treat Congress and the League, Muslim League, in the same way. Of course, with the Congress we had differences now on the question of war, where after the German invasion of Russia, our position was that war effort should be supported, whereas the Congress had still a large amount of hesitation on that point. This is not the place to go into a discussion of that, but it is important to realize that after 1941-42, our position with regard to the war was very different from that of the Indian National Congress. And that was one reason for the division. The decisions that we took under that division, in which we equated the Congress with the Muslim League, is, I think, one which all fair historians should now freely discuss. They were not the same. Muslim League was a communal organization. The Congress was not. The Muslim League cooperated with the British. The Congress opposed the British. On what ground could we then say that they were the same? That Muslim communists should go into the Muslim League and the others to the Congress. It is time now, I think, to look into our own shortcomings of the 40s. I believe that this was a wrong decision, that this indeed divided the communist movement on communal grounds. I'm afraid my memory is very bad. I forget names. But in 1960s, a very important politician of Pakistan came to our house. He had been my father's student, And my father had been a supporter of the Congress and the Communist Party, a peculiar position which he held with aplomb, because both the Congress and Communists were at some time, in 40s in particular, at each other's throats. But he, by making donations to them both, he kept them satisfied. Anyway, this chap came in about, I think it's 1960s, I forget his name. He was Secretary Muslim League. And he began to blame the Communist Party for his discomfiture. He said, I was all right. I was like any communist leader you have here. I did not go to mosque for prayers and all that. And yet the Communist Party sent me to the Muslim League. And because as a communist I had learned to work well, they elected me Secretary of the Muslim League in UP. And when the partition came back, I didn't want to go to Pakistan, but the party said that you must organize the party in Pakistan. So I went there, and there's no party in the name West Pakistan he was talking of, and I am totally lost. And for some reason he blamed the present communists, including me and my father was not a communist but a donor to the Communist Party. And he said that because you did not fight against the Muslim League properly, then I have been lost to the communist movement, and I have been lost actually to any serious cause, because I have no interest left in Pakistan. In any case, the communal problem was a particularly difficult one for the Communist Party, but its decision that Muslim communists should go to the Muslim League and Hindu communists to the Congress, I think, was a very bad decision. And I think we should freely discuss these matters of the past, because they have always shadows in the present. We should recognize that to put Congress and Muslim League at one level was not only a mistake, but a grievous one. There was a communal party and there is a national party. Congress at least had a socialist program at that time. They called it socialist, we might not call it socialist, but that was for public welfare. Muslim League had no such program. How could you then ask Muslim communists to go to the Muslim League? And therefore, as I was saying, a student of my father's, whose name I have unfortunately forgotten because now I have become very old, and he came to our house in 1960s complaining that the Communist Party was responsible for his discomfiture. He said, I did not want to go to the Muslim League, but Comrade P.C. Joshi called me and said, since you are a Muslim and we have very few Muslims and we want to have a voice in the Muslim League, you should go there. And because Communist Party had trained me well, I soon became Secretary UP Muslim League. And then Pakistan, and the Supreme Court judge in Pakistan. And he blamed all this for his departure from Marxism. He blamed all this on Comrade P.C. Joshi and his policy of appeasement of the Muslim League. I think it is time, of course, when we are discussing the history of the Communist Party, to freely consider whether this decision of 30s and 40s of equating Congress with the Muslim League and in effect treating Congress as a Hindu organization, because once you say that Muslim communists go to the Muslim League, then you are treating Congress as a Hindu organization. This was an enormous error. I think there should be free consideration of how these things occurred in the history of our party.